So here is a little rant working in long-term care. So I just quit yet another job in long-term care, and I know that every facility is the same, and it is. But I don't think people realize how poorly the floor staff is treated unless they work the floor at a long-term care facility. And it really bothers me because I really did not want to quit this job. I enjoyed the residents, I loved my coworkers, but management was horrible. They were cutting staff hours, saying that we were overstaffed when they are running each unit with one aide. And each unit has multiple two assists, has multiple two assists for transferring and changing, and like bed checks and stuff. And the fact that they sit there and say, oh, we're overstaffed, so we're going to cut your hours. And then in reality, they're leaving the floor shorthanded and thinking that it's okay. It's beyond comprehension for me. I have never worked at a facility that did this. I've worked at facilities that are short staffed, but not by choice. Like they're short staffed, they don't have staff. But this place had staff and was cutting hours and then leaving the floor short staffed. And the past 3 weeks, I have been in so much pain from having to do two assists by myself. And then on top of that, working two units at times. And it's just ridiculous. And the final straw was when over the weekend there was a no call no show slash my coworker quit and allegedly told them that she quit, but they didn't do anything. They still put her on the schedule. Um, well, instead of finding coverage or coming in themselves or, whatever, the ADON okayed for me to work both units. And the unit that the no call no show is on is a very heavy unit with over 25 patients. And a lot of them, like out of the 25, I think like 22 of them are check-in changes. A round takes over an hour by yourself. And then on top of that, I had to do my hall, which had 17 residents. And out of the 17 residents, 14 are check-in changes. And then proceeded to still want us to get people up. That's impossible. And I almost walked out because I was ridiculous. I didn't. I stayed for my shift. And I just didn't go back because you cut my hours, you cut everybody's hours, you took two night shift people that worked that unit and that now had a no call no show. Those two aides are that unit's aides. And they took them off of night shift and put them on day shift and gave them critical pay, which basically means they got their base pay on top of like 12 something an hour to work day shift. But you don't have the staff on nights. So you were already leaving us short staffed. And it just didn't make any sense. And that was a reoccurring thing every weekend was they were taking people off of night shift, putting them on days or evenings, and then leaving night shift short staffed. And if that wasn't an option, that's when they were cutting hours. And I've never worked at a facility where people, like, there's never one aide on a unit to put people to bed. I have never worked at a facility like that unless, like, somebody calls in. But they normally always try to have two aides on a unit to put people to bed. And they weren't even doing that. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, the place was fine, but the scheduling was something else. Like, I mean, I have never seen anything like it, and then on top of that, like, I'm supposed to get a 25-cent raise for being CPR certified, and they're not giving it to me. Like, it just I didn't wanna leave. I really didn't. I was hoping that I finally found the long-term care facility that I would be at indefinitely, and here we are 4 months later, and I quit. And if Saturday didn't happen, I would probably still be there, but it happened, and that was the final straw because how is it okay? 17 residents on my hall, 25, 26, 27 people on the other hall, and you're gonna okay that and not try to find anybody. You have an on-call schedule for weekends, and you never call people in. You don't come in yourself and help. And I mean, it's ridiculous. And, I can always find another job. In fact, I am at a hospital right now waiting to go in for an interview. I have another interview in a couple of hours, and I have a meeting with a unit manager at the same hospital that I'm interviewing at now, but in a different department tomorrow. So it's no loss for me. I can find another job. But they lost an aide that residents really loved having and people loved working with. And that's on them. I know that they don't care. I mean, the last month has proven that they don't care. But I mean, I think people need to realize just how bad long-term care is. I think personally it's worse for aides than nurses. That's not taking away anything that the nurses go through, but we're on the floor. We're, as aides, we are turning people, changing people, feeding people, getting people up. Most nurses don't. Most nurses won't even help you if you ask. And I just think it's ridiculous, and I think we need to do better in long term care. And I think people really need to, you know, praise CNAs that work in long term care because this has happening in every facility and it's not okay. Right now, I am battling both my knees. I have bad knees. I've always had bad knees. But right now I am literally battling my both my knees being swollen and they're actually dislocating because of all the shit that they have put me through the last couple of weeks. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. If you are a CNA that works in long-term care, I do appreciate